G'day guys, Matt Brand here. Welcome to the 2022 Mini John Cooper Works, which is a fiery, bougie little hot hatch. And it's just gone through another facelift. This is actually the second facelift since this car was released almost a decade ago. So today we're going to talk about what's new with this facelift and really whether or not you should spend almost 70,000 Australian dollars to buy one of these. And you guys know me, I am the king. I'm the pharaoh. I'm the king of hot hatches. So I definitely have a lot to say about this. Now the Mini Cooper JCW competes with a lot of cars and actually quite a lot of channel favorites. I'm talking i30N DCT, the Renault Megane RS, the Toyota GR Yaris, the Mk8 Golf GTI, the Ford Focus ST, the BMW 128 Ti, and the Honda Civic Type-R. Today we're going to be doing a detailed review of the new Mini JCW. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you could go down there and hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see every time I release hot hatch reviews like this. Now you can actually get the Mini hatch as a 3-door or a 5-door, which in Australia is incredibly unusual. Usually everything just comes as a 5-door. Even more interesting, you can only get the JCW as a 3-door. The John Cooper Works actually starts at just over 60,000 Aussie dollar dues, but that is for the essential trim. This Mini Yours trim, well, that will set you back at just under 69,000 Australian kangaroo points, which as far as I can tell is one of the most expensive front-wheel drive hot hatches that you can buy. So then, do you get the most powerful engine in its class? Well, no. In fact, you get the carryover engine. It was in the, I guess, I was going to say pre-facelift, but the first facelift one. And it's a pretty punchy 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine. And it pumps out a healthy 170 kilowatt of power and 320 newton meters of torque. All of that power is sent through an 8-speed torque converter transmission. Usually in this class, you'll see dual clutches because they are just, well, they're quicker to upshift. But honestly, this transmission is really, really good. Upshifts are totally seamless, as are downshifts. And really, when you let the car do its own thing, you put your foot down, give it some saws. I bit my cheek. Yeah, it's really responsive. It's actually a surprisingly good transmission, though BMW do have some really good transmissions. Really, the biggest issue with the Mini is that it doesn't have a limited slip differential. For those of you who don't know, a limited slip diff, it sends power to the wheel with most grip, which is really good in a car that's front-wheel drive because you're constantly getting wheels scrambling, and so it helps it put power to the wheel that has the grip. Now, this does have like a pseudo LSD thing. It breaks one of the wheels, but really, it's just not as good. And you do notice that when you put your foot down sometimes, it will cut out traction because it just can't put down the power as well as it should. Still though, being a BMW under the skin, they work their magic, and this thing still is able to put down power surprisingly well. Though I would think if you wanted to put more power into it and put your foot down, it probably couldn't handle it. Speaking of putting your foot down, let's do some launch control. The 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles per hour is, that's around about 6.1 seconds. This thing is quick. I guarantee you it's faster than that. And I am planning to invest in a draggy, guys. Don't worry. It's expensive. So if you guys just keep watching the videos, you'll help me pay for it someday. But yeah, it certainly feels quicker than its advertised claims. And I love the way that the transmission absolutely kicks you. It pummels you in the back of the head when you put the transmission into S using this, well, BMW shift knob. It's got a lot of power, this thing. It also sounds really, really good. It does fart on upshift, weirdly. It's not a dual clutch. Usually that's reserved for dual clutches, but not this thing. It will fart. So yeah, while this thing really doesn't have as much power as you might hope it does, it's still plenty quick. And really, I'm surprised by how well the whole package just goes together. I didn't expect it to be this good, when really I should have, because as I said, under the surface, it really is a BMW product. And it's just got so much power on tap at all time, despite only having 170 kilowatt. I'm guessing that they're fibbing with that number. I feel like it's a bit more. Now, there have been some changes for this facelift underneath the skin, which we will come back to, but for now, I want to talk about what's changed on the outside. Okay, so let's talk about the exterior of the new Mini Cooper John Cooper Works, the 3-door. And first of all, I think that's a spec you absolutely have to get this thing in. It looks incredible as a 3-door. Okay, but what's new for this facelift? Well, first of all, you get a new revised grille. So now you get functional aero, and it's super aggressive. But as I said, it's completely functional. It all works, except for this. This is totally fake. That couldn't be more fake. The headlights themselves are really, really cool. Incredibly bougie. This thing is the bougiest car in the world. But you've got this cool LED that wraps around, and that also is the turning signal indicator, and they come as standard now with LED lights, so that's pretty cool. Now this has the optional chili red. So at the top you can see it's a bright red on the mirrors as well, on the sides, and then look at these racing stripes. They are also chili red. Not sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I feel like I'd prefer it in black, but hey, that's just me. There is plenty of ways to modify your Mini Cooper John Cooper Works, and this one has gone with a green. There's also a British racing green. I can't even remember what this one is called. There's so many options to go through, and I really like the color actually. Now moving to the side, and nothing really has changed here at all, but nothing needed to. As I said, you have the 3-door design, and it's also a coupe. It's really cool when you open the doors, frameless windows. I love that. The wheels haven't changed, although they do now have 4-piston brake calipers up front, and this thing does brake very well, as you'll see soon. But the wheels themselves are 18 inches. They look pretty decent, and they are wrapped in Goodyear Eagle F1 tires, which are pretty good tires. Would still choose Michelin's over that, but still, it'll do. Again, look how bougie this is. You have a exposed fuel cap. And then moving on to the rear, first thing you're gonna notice is this huge spoiler up here. It is absolutely massive, but it's a really cool design. Look, you have the Union Jack in the tail light, and obviously that's one half, and the other tail light is the other half. It's incredibly cool design, incredibly cool. John Cooper Works badge down there, and then have a look at this diffuser. This is also new. It is massive, and of course you have your twin exhaust pipes there, and they sound pretty good. Take a listen. And while we're here, we might as well talk about boot space, which, well, yeah, it's not the best. There really isn't much space in here at all. Thankfully, you can pull down these back seats, and really that's how you're gonna want to have it, because I mean, on its own, it's just not enough space, but with that open, you get plenty. So yeah, overall, I absolutely love the way that this thing looks, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, just below that like button. Okay, so let's come into the interior now. I have the key here, so we can unlock it here, or we just use the keyless entry to get in, and it's a really nice place to be. But we want to get in. Ugh. How cool is this, by the way? Start stop button right there. And then the whole car comes to light with the classic BMW chime. The first thing that you notice about being in here is just how nice it is. As soon as you get in, it feels quality. You have soft touch materials absolutely everywhere. All of the switchgear, everything like that, it all just feels so nice. And how cool is it that it's got like this metal feeling, kind of airline style buttons to it. Very cool. The same toggle switches are up on top as well, so it's really cool. You can change between the different ambient lights in here, or you can control the sunroof. And by the way, you do get a dual panoramic sunroof, so very cool there too. In terms of ergonomics and practicality, 2 cup holders up front, and you get door bins, but they're really not the biggest door bins ever. The glove box is well, it's a decent size. How cool is this, by the way? This is the center armrest, of course. It is very comfortable to rest your arm on nice and soft materials, but it also ratchets, so you can get into a nice position. You can raise it all the way up and push it all the way back down. Even cooler is that you get a wireless charger within there. The only issue is that my new phone, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, has not a chance in hell of fitting within there. But thankfully, you can still put stuff down here, quite a lot of stuff too. You have, of course, a storage area up front too for your phone or whatever you really want. And then a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and a 12-volt socket there too. So all very useful. I want to come back to the design though for a second, because it is quintessential Mini that everything in here is as bougie as possible. So as I said, you get really nice materials absolutely everywhere, a cool pattern on the dash here too. And then everything here is circles, including this completely impractical key, but it's a circle. Circle, obviously the steering wheel is a complete circle, not a D shape that you'll find in a lot of cars. The The instrument cluster is circled, the vents are circled. God, even the door handles, they're circled. Even the pedals are circular. The more you look, the more you'll find circles. So they're really sticking to that theme, but it really is a stunning place to be. Now, because this is the Mini Yaris, this is a bespoke interior for this car, and you would kind of hope so for the price, but look, you get a Mini Yaris badge here, you get the Union Jack up there, and you get what Mini calls the leather lounge. I mean, there is quite a lot of leather, and it's a very nice seat, super supportive, super comfortable. I'm absolutely loving it. You get things like adjustable leg rest. But the one thing I don't like is that, look here, you get completely manual adjustment. Why? On a car this expensive, it really should have automatic adjustment, at least for the driver. Oh yeah, the seats, they are heated too. That's a nice touch. But anyway, back inside, and I absolutely love this steering wheel. It is at least partially new for this facelift because you get adaptive cruise control now, which is really good. That means the car will automatically bring you to a stop and go as well in traffic. I absolutely love that feature. Perfect for daily commuting. The steering wheel is nice and fat. It is chonky, but it feels so nice in the hands. Look, you also get the John Cooper Works badge down there. And as I said, because this is a Mini and everything is circled, the steering wheel is of course circle, no D-shaped steering wheel here. I will say the one thing I don't like is these paddle shifters, they feel so cheap. Have to be the cheapest, nastiest plastics ever. And then look here, you can already see these buttons here are completely smudged up because for whatever reason, they've decided to put it on gloss black plastic. No idea why. Otherwise though, it is a really good steering wheel. I'm nitpicking because I absolutely love it. And then up front, you have the instrument cluster. It is a pretty good instrument cluster. On the left-hand side, you have your tachometer. On the right-hand side, you have your fuel gauge, very large fuel gauge. And then in the center, you have your speedometer. And you can't really do much with this. You can cycle between a few different menus down the bottom, but that's it. So, you know, it's not the best out there. It's certainly not very customizable, but it works just fine. As does the heads-up display, mostly, except when you're sitting here, you can't actually see it. It's blocked off. I mean, what kind of design is that? I've even raised up the height of the display. Nothing's working. I just can't see it most of the time. Also, one thing I've noticed about driving is that the windows are completely concave. So it gives you a really cool effect. Like, this doesn't feel as small as it is. And then there is the infotainment display. And this is new for the facelift, 8.8 inches, and it's pretty damn good. To control it, you can either use it as a touchscreen, and it works pretty well for that. It's quite responsive to the touch, and it works decently well. Or you can use this iDrive controller down here with the exact same layout as you'll see in a BMW, and I absolutely love that. That's how I use it. I don't use it as a touchscreen because it smudges easily, and you just don't need to when you have such a good iDrive controller. It is quite functional. You get digital radio, navigation, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, but there is no Android Auto, and that just absolutely sucks. I mean, it's 2021. How could there not be Android Auto? But yeah, it works pretty well. Not the greatest system out there, but it's pretty good. So what about rear seats? Because yes, this thing does have rear seats. Well, let's try and get back into there. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, okay, not too bad, actually. Look, sitting behind myself, there isn't the most amount of room. Leg room, yeah, not the best. Toe room, yeah, it's all right. Headroom, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good, except for the cheap materials out the back, but yeah, you don't have people back here anyway, do you? All right, you can enjoy me getting out now of this thing. Oh my God, I'm caught. Okay, we made it. So yeah, I really like the interior of the Mini, but how does it drive? Let's get back to that. Okay, so back to how this thing drives. And let's put it into sport mode now, because there are 3 different driving modes: sport, mid, which I'm guessing is their way of saying normal, and green. When you change into sport, the adaptive dampers, which are new for this facelift, they have a new valve in them and can adjust a little bit better and just a bit more comfortable. Well, they stiffen up, they become more firm. The steering becomes really heavy. And if we give it some sauce, this thing corners on a dime. Really quite good. One of the things that did shock me so much about the Mini was actually just how comfortable it is. You know, when you want to drive it around like a sane human being, you definitely can put the car into normal and it feels like any other car. But then you put the car into sport mode, put your foot down, and it just goes. Handling is really good as we go through the twisties here in rural Victoria. It's surprisingly good. I don't know why I keep saying surprisingly. I guess when you think about the power that this car has, which isn't that much, when you think about that it has open diffs, the way that this thing handles is just incredible. It feels really stiff, really rigid. Steering is like the perfect weighting, and I feel like I've got no issues with traction, which is surprising considering the open diffs. The other really big change is the addition of the 4-piston Brembo brakes up front. So if we put our foot down, yeah, this thing stops pretty quick. We don't want that though. We want the sauce. We're coming up to my favorite corner now. I'm christening it the sauce corner. So let's give some sauce on this sauce corner. And yeah, there is definitely some understeer. You can't eliminate that. I could feel the brakes braking. Amazing though, absolutely amazing. Considering it doesn't have a diff, I'm in shock. Guess I shouldn't be. BMW. Wow, really, really good. The power feels like adequate. It definitely doesn't feel as quick as like the i30N. Oh, I'm on fuel reserve. Actually, speaking of fuel economy, I'm getting 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers. And it was a lot better, except I sat filming for about 2 hours with the car running. So this thing is really fuel efficient. You can definitely get it into the low 8s per liters per 100 kilometers. That's not English. But yeah, the way this whole package just comes together, it does cut power quite a bit more than I would have expected, even with the traction in the sport dynamic setting. But yeah, this thing is just a phenomenal amount of fun. Absolutely phenomenal. Twisty sauce is my favorite, I think now. Twisty sauce is my favorite. In terms of road noise, it's surprisingly good. There certainly isn't a shocking amount of it, and the soft touch materials really do help to soak up a lot of that road noise, because it does feel like a super premium place to sit. And these seats, while not the most figure hugging, you know, they're doing a pretty decent job of holding me in as I give it the sauce. Actually, do we want to call it the sauce corner or the saucy corner? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, yeah, I'm really impressed with how this thing drives. I think it's a really good contender for a hot hatch. Is it the best driving one out there? No. But it does give you a refined and frankly adult experience that you're probably not going to get in a lot of competitors. So, is the new Mini Cooper John Cooper Works 3-door worth your hard-earned cash? Well, I really like it, or at least I want to really like it. My issue is that it's very expensive and doesn't provide, you know, as many thrills as like an i30N. Though I can't fault the interior quality, it is just so damn nice in here. It really does feel like on another level of premium. Even the customizability, like the outlandishness that is the way that this car looks with its colorway, that's pretty hard to achieve with like any of its competitors. You know, the Mini Cooper really does attract a certain buyer. It's not the average hot hatch buyer. You kind of have to be in a class above to want to go for one of these, and I totally understand why. It's a very refined driving experience. Really, it's a BMW driving experience with the raucousness that is a hot hatch. Oh, hang on, we got to give it some of the twisty sauce again. We're going down sauce corner. So yeah, we'll workshop that. Oh, understeer galore. Gosh. All right, come on. Let's see what you got, baby. Let's see what you got. Oh gosh, yeah. Well, he did a pretty decent job. But let me know what you guys think of the Mini Cooper John Cooper Works down in the comment section below, just below that like button. Would you buy one of these, or would you buy the channel favorite i30N? Let me know. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'd love to have you around, and click over there to watch one of my other reviews. I highly recommend it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.